should you approach even if she shows no signals?
So you can, but for a lot of guys just starting out, especially dudes that have always been shy, you're trying to create the conditions where if you're approaching a girl, it goes well. And typically, if she makes eye contact and smiles, she likes what she sees, and it's usually an invitation that, hey, I'd like it if you approach me. But what you'll notice most of the time is you'll check out a girl, and I'm sure you guys can attest to this. You're walking somewhere, and there's some dude checking you out, and you do everything you can to avoid making eye contact because you don't want to give him the impression that you may be interested, because then he's going to come over and start hitting on you, and then you're going to have to get away when you don't really want to talk to him. And so what you'll notice when you do that enough is that women that smile and make eye contact, you're going to have much better conversion numbers as far as getting the number, going out on dates, eventually. So typically how those numbers shake out, if you approach 100 women, these are women at least make eye contact and smile, typically you get 12, 15 dates. And if you're following what's in the book, you'll end up sleeping with like 3 to 5 of them. Those are the numbers. So the more you approach women that are not open, they don't give you any indicators, they won't make eye contact, because typically they won't make eye contact because they don't want to give you the impression that it's okay to approach them. So just assume that they're taken, they're married, they're not interested, they're in a different headspace, especially if you're starting out, because you got to get through a lot of no's in order to get to the yeses when you first start approaching girls. If you've always been shy, it can be nerve-wracking. And so the goal is to have as many good positive experiences as possible, because if a woman smiles and makes eye contact, she's going to typically be way more friendlier than most of the women who won't even look you in the eye, and they'll give that vibe like they just want you to get away. What's your experience? Walking down the grocery store and you know some dude's checking you out and you're going, oh, fuck.
Well, with that, I would just keep walking. I'm like, hi, how are you? And just keep walking, even though sometimes they're like...
What about when a dude's staring at you and you're not in the mood?
I just go about my business and just pretend he's not there.
So in other words, you walk right by, you can feel that he's looking at you, but you act like you don't see him.
Well, I
And
mean,
Mr.
I'll say
Invisible?
hello. If I'm not going to be rude and just, I'm going to say, hi, how are you? And then keep on going about my day. But, I mean, some of them are like, hey, hello. Because that happened to me a couple months ago when I was in CVS. I was literally... that I was walking in CVS and this car stopped and I seen the guy looking at me, and then he parked and I was looking for tape. Just standing there trying to find like duct tape.
Just trying to buy some duct tape, damn it.
Yeah, or some type of like, large tape. And the guy comes in, he's got basketball shorts on, a t-shirt and a ponytail. And he was like a young kid. He was probably like 21.
He's like 21, right?
Yeah, 21 years old. And he was like, hi, how are you? I just want to let you know you're really beautiful. And I was like, oh, thank you. And then I just turned around and I just continued looking for my tape. And I'm trying to focus looking for the tape while he's still talking to me. And he's like, well, would you like to, go out with me sometime? And I was just like, I'm sorry. I was like, but I'm seeing someone. He's like, oh, you're not interested? I was like, I'm seeing someone, sorry, I'm sorry. Like, so, I've had that happen. And then a lot of times, like if I'm
So
sitting,
he's like, you're not interested. So he took that as you're just saying that.
right. But I was just like, no, I'm seeing someone. So,
Did he get a little irritated?
no, he was like, okay. And then just like walks off.
So
but
he's
I'm
like,
sure.
oh, you're not interested?
Yeah. Well, he was probably butthurt. He was young. He was very young. So I was just like,
Got a little perturbed.
yeah. So, and then I've had instances where like, even if you don't make eye contact with guys, like I've gone to the set and have lunch by myself at the bar and have a glass of wine or something like that.
Right.
And then I'll have one come up, talk to me. Somebody I know come up, talk to me. So like I have like a few guy friends that I know around the town or whatever, and they'll say hey and then walk off. And then another guy will come up. Like the biggest turnoff is to come up to a girl. If you've already been drinking, just don't even think about coming up to a girl by yourself to a bar, especially if it's in the middle of the afternoon. Like, that's not attractive at all.
Yeah, like if we can smell the alcohol on you,
Yeah.
do yourself the favor, go to the bathroom, like wash your face, wash your mouth out, put a breath mint in.
Wash your butt.
Wash your butt.
And then
Yeah.
try to maybe drink a little bit of water.
Collect yourself.
Collect yourself. Practice a couple pickup lines and then approach.
Yeah.
Practice.
But if you have yourself together, you're looking clean, you're looking fresh,
You smell good.
you have that confidence, and it's like, and you're like, you know, come up and say, hey, how are you? And da da da. It could be with your work friends, by yourself, or whatever. And then you know, try to throw, like, ask out to dinner or something like that. Then you have a better chance of, you know, but if you're, you know, sometimes you know when to shoot your shot and know when you shouldn't shoot your shot.
In other words, it's always better to look for an open invitation.
Right.
Eye contact and a smile you'll have much more pleasant experiences approaching those women versus the ones that pretend like you're not there. Just like, you know, you'll notice that because as a man, it's like I've been in this stores thousands and thousands of times over the course of my life, and you walk by people, especially attractive women, and you look over like, wow, she's hot. And you look in her eyes, and she just walks right by like you're totally invisible.
Yeah.
And it's just maybe they're married, they're taken, they're not
just
open
not
to it.
interested.
That too. All the above.
Yeah.
In other words, you're not getting an enthusiastic response. So go where there's at least a smile and pretty eyes that invite you in.
Yeah, and then also, just because she smiles and is nice to you doesn't mean she's interested, and I get that all the time.
Right?
Yeah, Jade's always talking and always laughing and always smiling, so everybody thinks that she wants to sleep with him.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, bye, see ya, have a nice day. Now I'm trying to push my buggy down the aisle like with a running fashion.
Yeah.
And they're still talking, okay.
But there's always like the pros and cons of being like a pretty girl, a nice girl, a kind person, because sometimes men do take that the wrong way. They take that as an invitation, and it can go too far sometimes. And when a guy does get rejected, they can either take it in a good way or
A negative way.
and then start being condescending and degrading and reject their insecurities on you, which has happened to me multiple times. Happened to both of us multiple times when we're out, and we just laugh it off. I mean, you have to enjoy where you're at in life and just be blessed with humor.
I had one guy tell me one time, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm not interested. He goes, well, you got a big forehead. I was like, okay. I was like, so does Tyra Banks, and so does Naomi Campbell. So, okay. Have a nice day.
Well, you got a big forehead. I didn't want to date you anyway.
I'm like, I didn't when you were like,
It's okay. I wasn't interested in the beginning, so
yeah.
Thank you for the insult. Enjoy the rest of your time.
It's not an insult to me. You got a bigger forehead means you're smarter. Hold more brains.
Well, to them, they think it's an insult.
Yeah.
So I give them a little bit of
silly boy.
I give them a little bit of what they want to hear, and then hopefully they part their way.
Boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider.